Welcome back to the next installment. We're going to start tackling spells. So the first thing we're going to do is go back to our car sheet, and we've taken the abilities subwindow here and I've relabeled it. So it was car sheet spells as the class name, sorry, car sheet abilities. I've changed it to car sheet spells. I've changed the height to 580 and the width to 560, the offset here to 5, and down here I've called it spells. I then had, from my import, I had a window class called car sheet abilities, and that is from Core RPG, and I've renamed that one down here as car sheet spells, and you can see there's some content on here, and I don't need any of it, so I'm going to get rid of that, and we're going to start building it again from scratch. So let's have a look at what we're going to do there. So we've got car sheet spells, and what we're going to do is probably aim for a 2-column split here, so 580 with another 5 pixels lost here, and either 5 or 10 lost in the middle, so that's 15, so 565, I need to split that in 2. So we're at about 280 pixels we've got to work with in each of these columns. So that's going to give me an idea of how wide I can build my spells car sheet. So let's dive into that one next. Alright, let's grab a window list, drop it on here, we'll start at the top. So our class is going to be called spells. Accept drop fields, we don't want that because that's specific fields. We want allow create true, delete true. Class name will be spells car sheet. Column width will be 280 pixels. Frame, we'll use our frame window list. Offset, I'm not going to put any, okay, I'm going to put 0 on the left because it's going to be link. I'm going to put 35 at the top. I'm going to put 0 on the right and 5 at the bottom. Try that. Width is going to be 280, 5 pixel offset, 0 from the top. Can grow is true. It's the first one, so it's going to be anchored at the top, and it doesn't need to stack with any control. I'm going to give it a name, spells 0. But I missed something. Somewhere up here we've got data source dot spells 0. Okay, I think that is okay, and this needs to be a list text underscore text. Okay, that should be right for the window list itself. We need a label. And I'm going to offset this by 5 plus 10. So from the top it'll be 5. No, it'll be 5 plus 10, and from the top will be 5. And the text here will be cantrips and rotes, which is kind of like the different names for 0 level spells. Font will be reference H, color white. No frame needed there. We can lock that one in place and give it a name, and spells 0 label. Okay, we want to put some iEdit and iAdd buttons on. Let's grab them from here. Control C. Get them into the right spot. Alright, now we can lock those into place, but we need to name them correctly. So our icons are correct. Okay, let's just use one of them. And but we need to change, this needs to point to spells 0 as the target, and the name needs to be spells 0 iAdd. And again, we don't need any stacking because it's the first entry. It's at the top of the page. that might be enough. Okay, let's lock that up, and let's quickly create our spells car sheet. Okay, we're going to just do this for the moment. We're going to take moves car sheet, create a copy, and we're going to start with this name. It's going to be called spells car sheet. Our link, the class will need to be spells. Name will be correct. Role, we're going to leave it there for the moment. IDelete, we're going to leave. Attribute, we're going to leave. And we're going to get rid of these four fields, the result fields for the moment. Okay, now this is width 270. We've got 280, I think, to play with. Let's set it to 280. Let's leave 5 pixels at the far right. This is going to shrink because we're going to have some extra fields in there. We're going to put it at that for the moment, and we're just going to push this out and see if that loads up okay on the screen. Actually, a couple more things we had to do here. So on our car sheet, we updated abilities to spells, but we also have to update the tabs. So tabs, we have a collection of tabs over here, and abilities. So this is an icon, tab abilities. Fortunately, in Core RPG, there's also one called spells already. So that's the icon that has the text that says spells in, written perpendicularly down the page, and the subwindow name here is going to be spells. It should be fine. Let's push that and reload our table. Okay, we can see here we've got spells. Okay, we've got a couple of things here. So the label worked, the plus and the minus worked, even the spells car sheet entry has worked. What hasn't worked is the frame underneath. Although it is there, it looks like we have to set a minimum height. Let's try and delete these. Alright, and that disappears, which makes it very difficult to drop. So let's have a quick check of what's going on there. Going back to car sheet spells, and I suspect I didn't put, so we've got a height here of 100. I'm actually going to drop that to 80. Oof, bad move. Everything was selected, so everything jumped to 80 in height. Let's just change it to 80 height, but I need to set a minimum height of 80 as well. If I do that, it'll load properly on Fantasy Grounds. When you first load the screen up, or when the list is empty. Once the list has got a couple of entries in, it'll function correctly, but we need it to function correctly straight away. So there we go. It's at the correct size. It's also set to grow, so it'll get bigger as it goes, and we'll set some stacking so that the other spell levels will stack below it. Alright, that's it for this video. I'm going to duplicate this a couple more times. We'll do them all straight away in case I find some other errors, but we will duplicate these a few times, and then we will build out spells, the data type and the car sheet entry type. And we might even put a 5 pixel spacing here on the left hand side. I don't have it for moves. I don't know. Hard to know. We'll play around, we'll see which one we end up with. Thanks guys.